Hey guys, we're coming to you from my desk again. Still under quarantine, I guess. Governor Ivey says we're not supposed to go anywhere, but that's okay. You're busy and I'm busy, so we'll try this again. We seem to get a good response from it. So today I want to talk to you about replants. We've getting a lot of calls in the last few days about replants. Cotton that was dusted in, may got 2 or 3 tenths of rain, and we've got swell seed, but it's not going to come up. We've had some heavy rains after planting in a few places. So let's talk about replants. So what qualifies you for a replant? Well, there's a 20-20 rule. So 20% of the acres or 20 acres, whichever you get to first would qualify you. So here's what that looks like. You got a farm number 1, has 100 acres on it. If you have 20 acres of replant on that farm, then of course you qualify. If you have a 10-acre farm, farm number 2, that has 2 acres, well, that's 20% of the total of that farm, so it would qualify. So let's remember the 20-20 rule. If you have a CAT policy, let's just say you've got CAT on soybeans, and you've got regular buy-up on all the other crops, but you have a soybean replant. There is no replant payment available with CAT, so there's no reason to expect we're going to get any kind of help with that. So all the buy-up policies have replant, except for cotton, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. One thing that's changed with the pandemic, if that's what you want to call it, is Federal Crop has released and changed a few rules about self-certification replant. So here's how that works. In the past, if you were replanting under 50 acres, then the adjuster wouldn't even come to the farm. We're just going to take your word for it, use your acres off your monitor, your planting monitors, and you give us a receipt of how many bags you used and would work the claim that way. So instead of it being 50 acres, now they've increased that to 100 acres to keep us from exposing you to corona, I suppose, and you exposing our adjuster to corona. So 100 acres is the new minimum there. So that works good for us, works good for you. Let's talk about plant dates. We're fixing to put a slide up here that you can look at. You can find which county you're in. This first slide goes from Watauga County to Henry County. You can look across the top there and it tells you which crops. We've got them color coded. You can find your plant date. You can find your late planting period. That'll be important as well. So there's slide 1. Slide 2 should be popping up about now. That's going to take us from Houston County, Alabama, all the way through the rest of those Alabama counties down to Washington County, Florida. You'll see still color coded with the crops. Slide 3 is going to take us from Talladega County all the way down through the other side of Georgia. So every county that is listening to me talk, you should be on that list. All your crops are on there. We'll also put that on the heading of your specific acreage report so you can refer back to it before you go to the farm office and certify what you've got planted. So question everybody wants to know is, well, what does replant pay? Is it worth fooling with? Well, yeah, we don't want to leave any money on the table with a replant, not when it's built into the policy. So peanuts is going to pay $95 an acre back. Soybeans pays 3 bushels at the support price of beans is $9.36. It's $28.08 an acre. Corn, 8 bushels at $3.92. That's $31.36. Grain sorghum is 7 bushels at $3.75. That's $26.25. Now, what about cotton? Well, there's no replant in the federal crop cotton policy. However, if you're in Alabama or you're in Georgia, more than likely you've already told me to add the RO policy, which is a cotton replant, to your crop insurance. And so in that case, it's going to pay $40 an acre back for replant, even if it's just 1 acre. So if it's deer damage on 5 acres of a field, or you got 2 or 3 tenths of rain after you planted and you're going to have to replant that cotton, if you've got RO, you're going to have a replant payment. So we don't have it in Florida. We've been expecting that for a few years, and maybe in another video and some one-on-one time, we would like to see this available in Florida. The holdup is the Florida Insurance Commissioner, so we may have to have a little bit of political push to get you guys some help on replanting in Florida. But we'll get to that after everything's laid by and we get all the acreage reports done. That'll be something we work on over the summer. Guys, use your original plant date. When you go to the farm office to certify acres this year, use that original date that you planted. So let's just say you planted farm number 1 of peanuts and you planted them on 6/4, okay? And then for whatever reason you got a super heavy rain and you had to go back in there and do some replanting 2 weeks later. Don't use the replant date at the farm office. Use the original plant date at the office. That's very, very important. FSA is not going to know. They're going to tell you the last time you planted, use that date, but that's not correct. Use your original plant date always. Your coverage attached for crop insurance with that original date. So you don't want to use the secondary plant date, because if it's after the late planting period, you're going to be penalized. I'm not going to know the difference. So always use the original plant date. What does that penalty look like if you do plant past the final planting date? Well, if you're in a county that has a 6/5 planting date for peanuts and you plant them on 6/8, you're 3 days late, right? So it's 1% reduction for every day they're late. After the last day of the late planting period, you take a 40% reduction. So guys, I'm not going to know to ask. I'm going to go with what that 578 says. What you turn into the farm office is the date that I'm going to have to use. So be vigilant. Be very, very careful that they get the right plant date, that you tell them the right plant date. You can text me, you can call me. I'll send you your plant dates. It'll be across the top of your acreage reporting forms. There's no reason that we should mess that up, but it could cost you at claim time. So we want to just be very careful with that. One other thing. You're going to get, after you call in a claim to me, you're going to have an adjuster call you, because we've got to get these claims opened up before you go replant. So if you've got a set of planters hooked behind your tractor and you're going back to replant something, you need to call me on the way or text me on the way so I can get that claim open. We don't want to get the cart ahead of the horse and you go out there and start planting before I've got a claim open, because then I can't pay you. So simple rule of thumb is, if you have planters hooked to your tractor and you're going back to redo something, I need to know it before you do it. I'll take care of it from there. What'll happen is you'll get a call from what they got acronyms for everything. It's the C4 team. It sounds so impressive, but really it's just the customer care team. You're going to probably get a call from a fellow named Daryl. Daryl is a really nice guy, but he does not have a local number. So when you see that number pop up, you need to answer Daryl, and then he'll assign you to a local adjuster. One of the guys you already know will get it taken care of. But if you're like me and you see this odd number come up on your phone, the first thing I think about is, no, I don't want to extend my car warranty. I don't want to be bothered by this person. But if you've got an open claim and you've talked to me, answer the phone. You can tell them no on the car warranty, but it could be Daryl, and so we don't want to hold you up. Speaking of holding you up, if you call in a claim to me, we're not going to keep you from replanting. Just let me know before you do it. I'll get that adjuster in touch with you. He's going to call and tell you to go ahead and get started. He'll be there if it's more than 100 acres and he needs to come look at it. We're not going to hold you up, but guys, don't leave any money on the table with the replant. So I'm not sure I signed off the right way last time, but again, that's all I've got for you today. I appreciate you guys. Y'all be safe, and we'll see you soon.